So the visceral pericardium refers to the actual on the vessels in the body cavity. So the pericardium is above the diaphragm, and then the visceral is on the actual organs. The epicardium is going to be the outer cardium, so it's the outer layer, right? Then it's followed by the myocardium, or the thick, muscly layer, and then the endocardium, or the inside. So you can kind of see that there's a slight color difference on all of them. Then we're going to go to coronary blood vessels. So coronary blood vessels are going to be located on the heart, because coronary means heart, right? And those are going to be like little spidery vein things, right? So those are going to be your coronary blood vessels. So now we're going to go into moving into the chambers. So we have, I'm going to start with the left side. So the medial side is the left side, right? We have two. So if we look, identification marks are going to be your chordae tendineae, or your heartstrings. If you're on one side of them right here, that touches the bottom, you are in your ventricle. So this is our left ventricle right here. So if I follow this through, we are now in aorta. Okay? Now if we go through the flap, or the chordae tendineae, I should say. So the chordae tendineae to the flap, which is called the left AV valve, we're now going to be in our pulmonary veins. See that? Now we're going to move over to our right side. So our right side again has an atrium and ventricle. And the chordae tendineae, I like this side a little bit better. So there's chordae tendineae right here. And you'll notice that on the heart sometimes only one side of the right side will have the chordae tendineae, just the way it cuts. So that's why I'm going to do this side. So we'll start with the atrium. So here's chordae tendineae. I'm going to go through this, through the right AV valve to the atrium. And what we get is, well, if I can find it, hold on. Oh, I didn't want to put my own hole. Nope, I don't want to put my own hole. Give it a second. Give it a second. There we go. And then let's get the other one real quick. Sorry. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get to these ones.
Is the one that you're trying to find the inferior?
Yeah. And sometimes it's just hard to get to. There we go. Let me put back where it was. Well, slight technical difficulties. Yeah, I got the, well, we'll do this side. This one's easier. It's less stringy. If it doesn't slip out, that'd be great. So as you can tell, we have the superior vena cava, the inferior vena cava, right?
Inferior.
Inferior, superior.
On the test, would it get probed like that? Like
Yep.
that's how you look.
But if you notice, that was the only one that actually goes like sideways. So it should be very easy to like identify, even if we didn't do that. But we would do that.
If it goes sideways, it's inferior.
So now we're gonna go to the other side, and I actually like this one a little bit better. So we're gonna go back to the weird heart. Go to the right side. So now we're gonna go where the chordae tendineae was, right here. We're gonna go underneath there, follow it through. Unfortunately for this one, it's broken open, but this would be your pulmonary trunk. All the way through here. You see that?
Yeah.
Because we're going through the right ventricle, right?
Yeah. So is that this one? This top one?
I couldn't tell. I'd have to see the chordae tendineae because again, that's like the stereotypic marker. So important to note. So now that we did all the AV valves and we did all the different chambers and vessels, we're now going to go back and do the aortic semilunar valve and the pulmonary semilunar valve. So we're going to go back to the aorta. So again, we're on one side of the chordae tendineae. We're going to go through. So when you go through, if you look inside, it's kind of like a half flap. So that's your aortic semilunar valve. If we go through the right side, let's see if I can find it. And this one's a little bit harder to do from where I'm at. But if we look in, there's another half flap that happens somewhere in here. And maybe because it's cut, I can actually see it. I forgot. Oh, there it is. Perfect. So you see how there's like this little flappy thing right here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So it's a half flap. That's called your pulmonary semilunar valve. Semilunar because it's a half moon.
Okay.
Then we got your interventricular septum. So what does inter mean? In between, right? So in between our ventricles. So we have one ventricle here, we have one ventricle here, interventricular septum. So when you're a baby, this actually doesn't form right here, and so blood will pass through like that. Yeah. Papillary muscles, those are just the muscles where all these chordae tendineae attach. So yeah, there's like little branching points right here. So those branching points are those papillary muscles, and they're the things that kind of close them. Let's see. We did the chordae tendineae. Again, that should be your benchmark to find every single chamber, especially because every heart looks different. And did I do everything? I did everything that I can do on this heart. Yeah.
Can I go one more time with the inferior and superior vena cava?
No problem.
And like for me,
if you want to show, did you figure it out or no?
no, I want to show you and see exactly what it is.
Inferior is right here. Superior is right here for vena cavas. So very typical diagonal for the inferior and up and down for the superior. And again, going through the right atrium.
Going to the right atrium.
Right atrium. Because we're past the chordae tendineae. Right atrium.
You do that. We're on the aortic. Yeah.
So aorta. So we're in chordae tendineae right here. We're not in the atrium, even though that it is on the top. We're still in the ventricle, which then goes to aorta.
And then would that one right here be
Which one? So what would be what?
for the pulmonary trunk?
For the pulmonary trunk, that goes to the right ventricle. So we're going to go back down this way. Get out of the way, people. That's your pulmonary trunk.
Alrighty.
Oh, you want me to do it again?
Pulmonary vein was this one that comes out.
I wouldn't go based off of outside, though. I'd probably go based off of inside.
Do you want to take a picture of the superior?